call this Orangeburg County Council meeting of October the 1st, 2018 in order. I'm going to ask Councilman Wembley to give us a moment of thanks before we move forward.
If you will, Father, let's say prayer. We just thank you so much that we spared us. Father, we just ask now to go us through further this meeting and forgive us where we fail. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so very much, Mr. Wembley. Again, we welcome you to our meeting and to our new chamber. We're so grateful of the staff and those workers who have been the tireless hours trying to renovate our chamber. It's been a long time coming. If we have, I would entertain a motion in a second that we receive. Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith, second by Mr. Ravenel, that those minutes of September 4th be received. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Again, as always, nothing changed. You're just back in the regular chamber. We still have public comments of two areas. That's public comments of agenda items and public comments of other items. You may approach the podium if you have any comments of agenda items. And if it has a public hearing on that item number, you wait until that point to comment on it. If not, any other items, you may approach the podium and address agenda items at this time. Hearing none, we'll close that portion and go to public comments of other matters. I mean, if there's anything at all that you would like to address council on any topic, you may approach the podium at this time.
Okay. I am Pat Blasky, and I'm here for the fire department for our tax money. And a couple weeks ago, I gave a petition to Councilman Ravenel with 97 names on it. Now, those residents live outside the Santee Fire District, but within the Santee service area. And what we want is our fire safety tax money to go to the Santee Fire Department, the same as the tax money from the residents that live in the Santee Fire District. Since the Santee Fire Department are the ones that will answer the calls when we dial 911, we think that we should be supporting them and only them.
We had a couple of different conversations, and what I alluded to, I asked my administrator to correct me if I'm wrong. What is being proposed and what has happened in the past in that area was contracted with Santee at one point in time, and it was getting Santee Fire Department was getting compensated for it. But what happened is when the county fire system developed more fully, the LRE station moved to a closer proximity to your area. That's the Santee area. And so in terms when that happened, they quit paying a contract in that area with the Santee Fire Department. So that was the reason for that. But I notice now that the call volume is coming in more, and the county fire system and the Santee fire system, they're getting together. And I was told, and I feel sure that what they're going to do, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Administrator, is going to be contracted in that area with Santee again, as you said, because they do respond to a lot of the calls in that area. So they will be getting compensated for that area.
Will they get all the tax money the same as they do if we lived in the Santee Fire District?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that question, but I know that they'll be getting compensated.
Councilperson, the basis of what it is that tax funds is in the county fire district, and it's not just because of that area. The funds in the county tax, the taxes that are taken up for the fire district incorporates all the areas that are unincorporated. So it's not just for that area. It's from Woodford all the way to Utahville, wherever it's unincorporated. So you couldn't necessarily give them all of the proceeds for that, because that's what helps balance out the entire county. So they have a contracted price that they come up with per call that they will work out with Santee. And then also to help cover the area, the fire districts also have what you call mutual aid between fire districts and fire stations. So sometimes, depending on what time of day it is, because Santee has full-time fire people at that house, they may come more often during the day than the volunteers because a lot of them work during the day. But most of all the fire structures that we have, they do a multiple tone out. So you'll get 1 or 2 or 3 departments that tend to come to any fire that they tone out. And it just so happens that Santee has responded to a lot of those calls.
If we're in the Santee Fire Service area, Santee will answer our calls. So I don't see why they wouldn't get our tax money, all of our tax money. I mean, why should we be supporting the other departments when Santee is going to answer our calls?
Because that portion is in the county fire district, not in the Santee Fire Service District. So it's up to the fire district to decide whether they want to service that area or contract it out. We do the same with the city of Orangeburg on the 5 mile, you know, on the area outside of the city of Orangeburg. There are some areas that are contracted with different agencies to handle that, and that's because of the fact that they cover most of the territory, but it's still in the county fire district territory.
I mean, if we could call 911, Orangeburg isn't going to come and answer our calls. Santee is going to do that.
Well, tell me what would happen if you called it in and Santee couldn't come, but LRE in the county system came.
Why wouldn't Santee be able to come?
Well, sometimes Santee might not be able to get out. Say at night sometimes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but
Santee couldn't come.
what makes you think Ellery could? They don't have anybody there at night either. I mean, they're all volunteers.
I just asked a question.
I know, I understand.
But now, our volunteer system is one that our ladies and gentlemen of this county that work in that volunteer system are second to none. They give up a lot of their hours away from their home, away from their families to do these things. So I feel confident when you dial 911, somebody's coming for the sake of fire and emergencies. It's just a matter of, for proximity's sake, we do multiple tone outs, so that way you would have a better chance of someone coming from one of those particular things. But what you're asking for is in the process of being worked out. It's just that we have to get with the fire district, and Santee has to get together and decide what is in the benefit of the residents from the standpoint of the class and the entire system, that whether they contract the area out or give a service territory away. And for the most part, they have defined the lines, so our county fire district lines are defined. And so now it's up to them to contract with Santee if they choose to do that, or if they choose to service it themselves. So you have a fire commission that looks at that, as well as those individuals that have been appointed by this council to study that and see what's in the best interest of the system.
When are they going to have this meeting?
When the 911 call goes out, you get 3 fire departments back to your house. I don't care if you in Orangeburg County. When the 911 call made, 3 fire departments will be dispatched to your house. Santee, Ellery, and Providence, whoever the closest one to you. 3 fire stations. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right.
And you will get just as much service out of the Ellery as you will out of Santee. Our volunteers are the best in the world. I tell you what, we've got a fire department in this county that people just can't believe it. It's happened in Orangeburg County. And when we initially started fire service in Orangeburg County in 1997, started in 95, 97, there was an awful lot of argument and debate on whether there'd be one pot or every fire district would have his own district and raise his own money. And the best thing happened in this county was one pot, and everybody shared equally, and everybody's equal. All equipment is equal, and volunteers are equal. And it may be the day and the time that we need to take a look at Santee as being part of Orangeburg County. Instead of Santee. We're working right now with Orangeburg, with the city of Orangeburg, to be part of Orangeburg County.
Thank you, Mr. Wimmer. Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close the comment part of our meeting, and we'll go into our regular agenda. First item on the agenda is a presentation by Ted from AT&T.
This is a very special night. Mr. Ted Creek from AT&T is presenting us with a check for $90,000 to assist in industrial improvements on Industrial Boulevard, which is, for those in the audience, that is the area that is the Carolina Industrial Park where Zeus is adding its beautiful expansion, about a $16 million building, adding another 20-plus jobs. And so Ted and AT&T were kind enough to assist us with that effort. And so tonight, he wanted to present the county council a check.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of council. I'm sure y'all are very aware of the ability that utilities have in South Carolina to make grants to economic development projects that qualify under South Carolina Department of Revenue requirements. And so it's one thing that I take a lot of personal pleasure in. I know my company does as well, to assist with economic development efforts. Just kind of generally and perhaps philosophically, I suppose, we all know that growing industry and business in a county means a lot to growing the tax base in the county and growing jobs, good jobs for citizens. But I know that all of you also deal with a lot of other things having to do with our county. There are areas of our county that suffer from persistent poverty, areas of the county where our students need better education, and a lot of other problems and issues that all of you as members of council face. And we all know that when someone goes to a new business or industry and has the chance at a job that pays well and helps them to provide for their families, a lot of those other problems can just fade away. And so that's something that we take great pride in, and AT&T is very happy to make this grant to Orangeburg County for the Commerce Park, and thank you again for your service as well.
There we go. Everybody get your hand on there, Harry. Okay.
I got you.
That's perfect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Item number 2 is a resolution declaring October 2018 Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Orangeburg County. And I yield to Vice Chairwoman Cooper Smith to read that.
Regretfully, these statistics are based on last year's statistics. I was unable to find statistics for 2018, and I can vouch for that because I asked Connie to help me, and she did, and neither one of us could. I don't know what happened. But I'll read you the resolution as is. State of South Carolina, County of Orangeburg, resolution, sponsor Janie Cooper Smith, Vice Chairwoman. 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop invasion breast cancer over the course of their lives. In 2017, according to U.S. breast cancer statistics, an estimated 252,710 new cases of invasion breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in the United States. Women, along with 63,410 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer, about 2,470 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in men in 2017. A man's lifetime risk of breast cancer is about 1 in 1,000. And whereas of March 2017, there are more than 3.1 million women with a history of breast cancer in the United States. This includes women currently being treated and women who have finished treatment. Besides skin cancer, breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among American women. In 2017, it is estimated that about 30% of newly diagnosed cancer in women have breast cancer. In women under 45, breast cancer is more common in African American women. Overall, African American women are more likely to die of breast cancer. For Asian, Hispanic, and Native American women, the risk of developing breast cancer is lower. And whereas a woman's risk of breast cancer practically doubles if she has a first-degree relative, mother, sister, daughter, who has been diagnosed with breast cancer. Less than 15% of women who get breast cancer have a family member diagnosed with breast cancer. And whereas breast cancer occurs in 85% of women who have no family history of breast cancer. Orangeburg County Council Chairman Johnny Wright, Senior, District 1, Janie Cooper Smith, Vice Chair, District 5, Connie Pote, Clerk to Council. Thank you. I make a motion that we declare October Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Orangeburg County.
I second it.
Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith and second by Mr. Bailey. Pass this resolution, breast cancer, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers, the ayes have it, motion is carried. Item number 3 is a resolution honoring Mr. Calvin Wright. This resolution reads as follows: State of South Carolina, County of Orangeburg, resolution, whereas it is desired of Orangeburg County Council to recognize those individuals whose admirable accomplishments and services to their community are largely due to their dedicated public service. And whereas Mr. Wright was drafted in the United States Army at the height of the Vietnam War, after his tour of duty, Mr. Wright returned to Orangeburg, where he immediately joined the Veteran Foreign War, Post 8166, and remained a life member. Now therefore be resolved that the Orangeburg County Council does hereby recognize the outstanding leadership, contribution, and dedicated services Calvin Wright has made to humanity, the County of Orangeburg, and to the state of South Carolina. Be it resolved that on the first day of October, a copy of the resolution shall be spread across the permanent written record of Orangeburg County. Clerk of Court, Ms. Connie and Portie, and County Council. Can I get a motion? Second.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith and second by Mr. Johnny Ravenel. If you pass this resolution, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers, the ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item number 4 is the resolution honoring Ms. Janela Schuler. I yield to Vice Chair, Ms. Cooper Smith.
State of South Carolina, County of Orangeburg, resolution. Sponsor Janie Cooper Smith, Vice Chairwoman. Resolution honoring Ms. Janela Schuler on her retirement from the County of Orangeburg. She served as accounting clerk, accounts payable, and payroll clerk in the Executive Financial Division. And whereas during her tenure in the County of Orangeburg, she has served under 4 county administrators, Gary Smokes, Donnie Hilliard, William J. Clark, and Harold M. Young. And whereas the members of Orangeburg County Council wish to recognize and congratulate Mrs. Janela Schuler, Procurement Director, upon her retirement after 30 years and 9 months of service to Orangeburg County. I sadly present to you this resolution for your dedicated services to the Orangeburg County. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say a few words. First, I want to thank you, Ms. Cooper Smith, for this. I understand that you were the brainchild behind this, so I really appreciate it. Their wisdom, their vision, and their smartness to keep this county going for 30 years so I can retire. I'd like to thank Harold and Marion for being some of the best bosses ever. I'd like to thank Deanne, our county attorney. One more lesson from her, I could pass the bar properly. All right. And I'd like to thank my co-workers and those that didn't get up, John McLaughlin, for coming up here with me. And I'd like to thank my family. When I told my husband about this, I said, "Are you going to come with me?" He said, "Are they giving you money?" I'd just like to thank everybody very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I make a motion that we accept the resolution honoring Ms. Janela A. Schuler.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith and second by Mr. Bayless that we pass the resolution honoring Janela. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Item number 5 is a resolution to negotiate a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes between Orangeburg County and Project Creek, identifying the project and other matters related thereto.
Project Crete is a new manufacturing facility for manufacturing, packaging, and distributing dry mix products. The financial investment is over $5 million, $5.7 million, 28 new jobs. In exchange for that, we've got a 30-year term on a fee in lieu of tax agreement, 6% assessment rate, and the millage is 406.8 mils. In addition, there will be a 20% SSRC for 10 years.
The resolution, we'll check item number 11, which is an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes and special source revenue credit agreement by and between Orangeburg County and Project Creek to provide for payment of a fee in lieu of taxes, authorizing the inclusion of a project site in Malta County Business Park, authorizing certain infrastructure credits and other related matters. So we got item 5 and item 11. Council, y'all have any questions for the attorney? If not, I'll entertain a motion and a second for passes of item 5 and 11. Moved by Mr. Ravenel, second by Mr. Williams. For passes of item 5, the resolution and first reading of the ordinance on this project. Item 11, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Item number 6 is a resolution to authorize and approve the waiver of repurchase rights with respect to certain property owned by Mars Pet Care, Inc. We authorize and approve the execution and delivery of a waiver of repurchaser's right to document such waiver and to provide for other related thereto.
Mars Pet Care is such an old transaction that I worked on it, which means it was probably more than 10 years ago. In this particular case, one of the promises that the county got from Mars was that if it sold its property, it would give the county the right to match whatever the best offer was. And at this time, they have a buyer. The roads that are identified there on Prosperity Drive, 2 different pieces of property. And it's my understanding the county has decided it does not wish to repurchase that property. And as a result, as part of the due diligence for the legal people who are involved, they need a piece of paper from Orangeburg County that says we are waiving our rights. And that's what this piece of paper is.
Can I get seconds?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Wembley, second by Mr. Owens, that we pass the resolution to authorize and approve the waiver of repurchase owned by Mars Pet Care. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item number 7 is third reading and a public hearing also. So this is an ordinance providing for the issuance of a general obligation bond, one or more series tax exempt or taxable, and an amount not to exceed $2,500,000 to fund the purchase of county vehicles and equipment, authorizing the county administrator to prescribe the form and details of bonds, providing for the payment of the bonds and the disposition of the proceeds of the bonds, providing for borrowing in anticipation of the issuance of the bonds and other related matters. The floor is now open for public hearing. Hearing nothing on public hearing, any questions from any council person? Hearing none, I want to have a motion and a second for third reading on item 7.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Mr. Johnny Ravenel, second by Mr. William Owens for third reading on this ordinance. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 8 is ordinance in second reading. Actually, we have 8, 9, and 10, but we're taking one at a time. Instead of different tax map numbers. Item number 8 is to change the zoning designation of the following parcels, tax map number 0181-08-01-001, located at 160th Street, Citadel Road, Holding Company LLC, from forest agriculture to commercial general.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Planning Commission met on August 8, 2018. They considered the request from the Citadel Road Holding LLC to rezone the property at 163 Citadel Road. This was a request to change from forest and agriculture to commercial general for a rental equipment business operation. There was no opposition at the meeting, and adjacent property owners are in favor of the request. It's with unanimous vote that the Planning Commission recommends this approval to you as council.
Could I get a motion and a second for second reading?
Mr. Chairman, I move for second reading of ordinance number 8.
Second. Moved by Mr. Willie B. Owens and seconded by Mr. Edward Livingston. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item 9 is to change the zoning designation of the following parcel. Tax map number 0036-00-07-001, located at 2610 96 Road, Mount Gula, PH Church, from forest agriculture to commercial general.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Planning Commission met at the same meeting, August 8, 2018, to consider the request from Mount Bueller PH Church to rezone the property at 2610 96 Road in Council District 4 from forest and agriculture to commercial general. This was to allow a new digital sign. There was no opposition, and the Planning Commission unanimously approved this for your consideration. We're working on those revisions in the next revision of the zoning ordinance, so that stuff will be changed, and it has some parameters as far as the lighting and traffic flow and other things that come along with digital signage. So, but that will definitely be looked at and taken into account in the next revision.
So property the church owns?
Yeah, the rezoning has to be on the entire tax map parcel. So everything that the church has requested, the whole property is being rezoned. It's 9 acres on this particular parcel. And as Councilman said, it's not the best answer. It's the only answer we currently have. We're in the process of updating the zoning ordinance. We've already got into that. In the future, this is probably just going to be a special exception for a church. And then when we redo the zoning ordinance, we've already identified all these properties, and they'll be able to revert back to a more appropriate zoning district in the future, so we don't run into what Councilman Member does could be an issue.
In the future, what we're planning to rezone on an area, it's going to be a specific area for sign that's only taking 2/10 of an acre or something. I'm not saying 2/10, but
there's a problem with doing that because you'd have to subdivide the property. You'd have to actually get a plat and subdivide it. But what we're going to do is to make it where a church doesn't need to get rezoned to get a digital sign. There's easier ways for us to handle that. It's just currently we don't have it as an ordinance.
Need a motion second?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Edward Livingston, second by Mr. Billy D. Owens for passing this ordinance. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item 10 also is the same situation. This is to change the zoning designation of the following parcel, which is 034208-02001. This is at 11064 number 6 Highway Missionary. This is Springfield Missionary Baptist Church, 2 miles down the road.
Yes, sir. Planning Commission also met on August 8th, considered the request from this church, and they, Springfield Missionary Baptist Church, 11064 Old Number 6 Highway, and from Forest and Agriculture to CG for digital signage as well. There's no opposition, and Planning Commission voted unanimously for approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hayward and second again by Mr. Owens. Passes of second reading on this one. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. The motion is carried. We already did 11, so item number 12, official action, approval of the grant award for Project Creek.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Project Creek has been awarded a Rural Infrastructure Fund grant C-18-2880 in the amount of $100,000. This has been approved by the Department of Commerce, and it is up to you to approve this, as the money has to flow through the county to the business from the Department of Commerce.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I second.
Moved by Mr. Owens and second by Mr. Bayless that we pass the approval of the grant award from the Commerce Department. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Announcement was actually done last week, and Longleaf Packaging LLC will create 28 new jobs and have a capital investment of $5,707,000. And it's basically, it's a concrete batch plant that will be selling mortar mix and colored concrete and some other concrete materials in batch or in loads, not just by bag, and it can be sold to individuals, not just through direct cost, like your Lowe's or Home Depot. Anybody can go there and get it from them. So that would be something that would be good for anybody in the construction field or having that type of entity in our community. And it's 28 jobs and that type of investment in a largely rural area that's could definitely use it. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We're recommending carry forward of $382,533. Count number 001-0500-485-6051. This is for project materials and supplies in accordance to the council districts that we have to provide this funding for.
Moved by Mr. Wimley and second by Mr. Hill-Davidson that we carry these forward as indicated. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item number 14 is setting of the millage for tax year 2018.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We're recommending, based upon the assessed values that we have worked through with our county auditor, Mr. Roger Cletley, and our treasurer, Mr. Matt Stokes, along with Mr. Marion Lloyd, who's a deputy administrator and former county tax assessor, and myself.
What's the total?
The net effect in the regular funds would be 2. The net effect of the lighting districts would be, well, each of those are separate. So those people are the only ones that are affected in that district. So the way a lighting district works is citizens in that particular community agree to assess a special tax for a special purpose like lighting. So to make the fund solvent, we have to tax those people the cost of the lighting. So as people come and go, or properties are actually built, so if additional houses and other values of assessment are added to that district, then that makes us have to right-size the amount that's needed. So in effect of Whitaker and Creekmore, there's been activity and growth. So those are decreases. New Brooklyn had to have an increase, and Brookdale had to have an increase. Empire Estates and Fox Run with no change.
Should I get a motion and a second to accept the information?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Cooper Smith, second by Mr. Owens, for acceptance of that information on the setting of the millage, tax year 2018. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Ayes have it. Procurement, fiscal year 18-0801.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. A request for proposals were given FY 18-0801. This was requested and prepared for the replacement of the collection disposal of e-waste for the landfill in Orangeburg County. The proposals were advertised in Orangeburg County's websites. They were also due back on August 31st, 2018. The county received 7 proposals as listed below. And the local, state, and MBA preferences were given. And the highest rank and recommended vendor for award is Intelligent Life Solutions, 22 cents a pound. And Intelligent Life Cycle Solutions is deemed the responsible bidder in this recommendation for landfill director, Mr. Herman Brightman, and accepted as the vendor for this particular purpose.
In the contract, make sure you tighten it up so when these new people come, they will cover the truck completely and not just part of the cover on the truck. I want the cover to come down on both sides because paper doesn't care where it flies out, when it flies out the back of each side.
Any other concerns? Can I get a motion and second that we accept the lowest bid from Intelligent Life Cycle Solutions of Sally, South Carolina?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the lowest bid.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Owens and second by Mr. Hayward that we accept the lowest bid. As indicated, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? The ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item B is also under procurement in this fiscal year 18-0820. It's the HVAC system replacement at the YMCA.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for proposal FY 18-0820 was requested and prepared for the replacement of the HVAC system at the local Y. The proposals are advertised in the county website, and they will due back on September 5th, 2018. The county received two proposals as listed. One is Hoffman & Hoffman out of Casey, South Carolina, and it is basically has been recommended by the staff as well as the engineer for the particular facility.
Hearing no questions, you heard the explanation, the lowest bid. Could I get a motion and second that we accept that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith, second by Mr. Bayless, that we accept the lowest bid as indicated. Amount $249,640. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposers? Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
And what we decided to put in place with the e-waste is to have a sign erected that at our convenience sites that the for Orangeburg County owners to use the convenience site.
Two appliances?
Two appliances, yes. It can be computers or TV or any electronic item.
2 per day.
It has been moved and second on the recommendation by the Public Works Committee on the e-waste that they have a sign constructed to say Orangeburg County only, and also he has some other issues in there where he says that 2 per day would be the max that you could bring. And that means 2 electronic items per day. We move a second on that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Proceed to executive session under the South Carolina Code 30-4-70. Discussion of matters relating to the proposed location expansion or the provision of service encouraging location or expansion or industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body. We are able to go into executive session to talk about these under that code, and we have 3 items: Project Creek, Project Exclusive, and Project Mohawk, that we'd like to go into executive session to get an update from the Gulf Commissions on those items. Could I get a motion and a second that we go into executive session?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Willie B. On, second by Mr. Bayless, that we go into executive session for those items. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposers? The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
During Hurricane Florence, I would like for everybody here to know and pass the word. I would congratulate you and your staff, the county administrator, and everybody else who had anything to do with the hurricane and preparing Orangeburg County for something that could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. You were on you were on target. I don't know where you get your energy from, Billy, but please hand me some. From Sunday to Saturday, you gave us an update of everything, and we knew exactly what to expect. Somebody said earlier that we have the best fire department. I agree, but we also have a great management department under your direction. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's say we got a great team. Because you got all those 2, Public Works Department, the other, everybody. We got a great team. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to give a little update on the renovations that were done to council chambers, and let the citizens know that this was a long overdue upgrade. Number one, the fact that you can hear us clearly, see us better, have the opportunity to understand, but there's a whole lot more capabilities from a digital standpoint, as well as the capability to, in the future, live stream and do other things from a training standpoint. This room is not just used as council chambers, it's also used for staff meetings and other processes in which the county of Orangeburg used with its employees, which we have almost 700 employees that we have to do trainings from time to time. With the existence of this facility and the upgrades that we've done, it's a better experience for the citizens that we may be able to communicate to you more clearly and more effectively. With that being said, two of the contractors and a big portion of this renovation, Mr. Fred Gaskins is in the room, and I'd like for him to stand with his construction company from North, and also Mr. Gary Shaw, who is the architect from G3S Architecture in Lexington, South Carolina. I think they did a phenomenal job of capturing the spirit of what Orangeburg County citizens deserve, as well as a council meeting room that will function from now but into the future. We know we're going with technology, and technology is not turning back. And I think we are prepared, as what we're doing with other facilities, to take us into now, but into the future. As council, you guys are my bosses, and I love you to death, but like I tell everybody, this is not my building, this is not your building, this is the people's building. So when the citizens come into this facility, they deserve a state-of-the-art experience so that they can be proud of and say they entered into a council chambers that's conducive of the way of life in Orangeburg County. And I think the contractor did an excellent job. It came in $4,000 under budget, and we also have carried this design on, and Mr. Shaw has also designed several other projects as well. So when you see what we're trying to accomplish with the renovations outside to the area outside, and there will be a dedication for the Veterans Memorial doing Veterans Day. We're going in a different direction, as well as with voter registration building, public works building. The citizens deserve state-of-the-art buildings when they come in to do their business and stuff in Orangeburg County. And we would like to thank them for what they did in a very professional manner. We feel like the workmanship is there, and we know if there's something wrong, they will be here also. Also, we had the company involved in the audio portion of it, and they're here as well. And
Yes, for all you.
yes, sir. And they're here tonight just backing us up to make sure everything functions. And I tell you, as an administrator who's been doing this and sitting in this chamber for the last 20-something years, it is very refreshing to be able to hear clearly what people say and what they have to say. And also the fact that these meetings have to be recorded for us to have as a historical preference of what happened. So now we have a better way of capturing that through video and audio. And I think they all did right by the county of Orangeburg and did a phenomenal job. So I would like to give them a round of applause for what they did. Orangeburg County is not stopping. The best is yet to come. We have additional facilities that we have slated for with the library, county library, and other things that we feel are going to be game changers with this county. For the sake of one of the other meetings that we had gone to, and since we took time out, we have now received the official plaque from the Association of Counties, and we would like to present that to you for our award for the joint project that we did with the hospital with Orangeburg, Calhoun, and Bamberg counties. So we would like to present this to you as council from the State Association of Counties. This is the actual official award. I know at the night of the presentation, we all held up different ones, but that's the one that's specific for Orangeburg County. So we would just like to present that to you. Basically, all the staff, everybody had a lot to do with IT. It was a team effort, but I would have to say as a project person, Richard basically took this on as a project, and he did a phenomenal job, and I think he deserves a round of applause.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
may I commend Mr. Harold Young and his administration for the work that they are doing for Orangeburg County. And also, let me say while I'm talking, I very seldom I say anything. Let me say while I'm talking, I hope y'all can hear me out there.
We can hear
And
you.
secondly, I thought maybe the people who redid the room would give me a special chair, but you didn't, but thank you anyway.
Any other comments?
Move adjourned.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Rimley, second by Mr. Owens, that we adjourn. Again, we thank you all so very much.